she ends up, her eyes are all fucked up
She
after
can't
wearing them.
see. I couldn't see it. Have you tried to look at these things? As we come through the looking glass here early morning, one of two shows, maybe even three, that'll be live here at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. It's your early morning Friday locker room taping, as I come to life, get the Dippin' Donuts coffee in me, get a couple stretches out. It looks like it's a Blue World Order day as we rock our pro wrestling tees and our brand colors here at HackerHamin.podbean.com. Because I sleep in the lion's den without the steel iron. I'm like King Musa coming down from Mount Zion. Super logical this, super logical that. Stevie, I don't know how we're going to do super logical raps when we have to talk about illogical subjects like pro wrestling news and rumors here on your Friday locker room. YOLO. Yeah, man. It's always that, yeah, man. It's 8:20 in the morning to talk wrestling after we tried to talk something that had some substance last night. I think we did a pretty decent job on the Conspiracy Horseman.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, it's like I said, we're still trying to kind of feel out our new niche. I still say as the off camera conversations or non-recorded ones about some of the more fun conspiracies, like the mysteries of history and the world. And after having Alberino on, that kind of inspired me to kind of lean towards that, because we can get plenty of people on there to talk for an hour or two. We can just sit there and shut up. It's always good.
Yeah.
Gives us a break.
And it gives them a new reinvigorated feel, I think, to their delivery, because there's nobody like us that they're dealing with. Although I did hear Russian Vids was on Jericho, so now he's his problem. But already, man, this morning, 15 strong as the signal flare goes up at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. If you're not a subscriber, go and do it. It's all free content. HackerHamin.podbean.com. Where there's just tons and tons of shows, whether you like them or not. Big Joe, Arno, our network's in there. Justin French says, Bossman said, get to work. I said, fuck you, Hamin's on the air. Y'all law. Now I'm unemployed. Fitzy1, Discwell Swayze back from last night. Citizen Slim, Ziggy Balls. My man Brendan in there. And Disco L Swayze, man. So good morning to you, infidels. Rise and shine. Give yourself a $5 face slap. Get some stretches and get it worked out, because it's going to be a tough day of headlines.
Is one of those things going to be the Val Venis, Nyla Rose, Cody thing?
That wasn't up there. The sheets haven't really been going in on it, but we can definitely talk about it, man.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you want during the show,
sure.
But I think it's just an interesting thing, and I feel like, just like Conan said, he put it perfectly, so we could always link that video clip in the description of the podcast. But it was just, it's a bigger case for society of the minimalization or the marginalization, or just making someone feel small, or putting fake pushes attached to valid opinions, or even opinions that everybody can have in civil discourse. As Conan said, why can't we have civil discourse and the difference of opinions? I don't want to skip too far ahead, but for Cody, anything you say after that, when you open with that, I don't think anybody's going to know who Val Venis, and then he just throws Disco's name in there on top of that. That does not discount like what they're saying, and it does not marginalize them. Anybody that already believes that is going to believe that. They're not going to. They're already blindly following you in your own cult, in your AEW cult, and they already are going to lash out against Val and Disco or anybody else that speaks against you. What you said to anybody that's looking at it objectively, they're going to say, "What the fuck does that have to do with anything?" Like Conan, Disco, like we feel. It's weak. It's very weak, and just the tone of it felt very, very dismissive and arrogant in a way, towards that.
Yeah. I don't know why he would try and pass the heat there. That's something you see once in a while as a rib.
Well, he said Val's looking for a booking too.
Yeah.
And he's not going to ever work for AEW. Like, that's kind of tone deaf and very lack of not self-aware. Have you seen Val's content over the past 20 years?
Yeah.
Calling up IRS agents and cutting promos on them. I mean, this is the guy. We used to mess around and call him like a conspiratorial terrorist or a political.
He's kind of
like in a fun way because he's very extreme with its passion.
He's a Russian vids type dude, man. He's a Russian vids type dude when it comes to how passionate he is, right? At all costs.
Yeah, but Val, I think, has many more stats to back his wheelhouse in his category. Just like when we talk about conspiracies and we say it's mostly pure speculation on Space Force and SpaceX and other things, there is a shred of evidence. But when he's talking about the IRS and he's talking about taxes and government and even this latest thing with, the touchy subject of all the transgender stuff and athletics and other things where we're not quite sure how to figure it out. Conan said it best too. He's like, we didn't grow up with this. We didn't grow up with this in our high schools, in our schools, in our day-to-day life. And we're not even allowed to figure it out. He had said, I forget the country, but he said, if I go to so-and-so country, you expect me to know everything about the culture on day one?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let me learn and let me try. Let's figure it out. And let's discuss this. And
because they want you to be,
you should know, and you're
they're like, educate yourself. Well, what am I supposed to educate myself with? What I see is drag queens at a public library, and like they want to. That side wants to act like they have answers to normalize something for such a minute percentage. Which the argument that no one's really saying is because of some white guilt that they want to say, look, I can accept everybody, which is fine to accept everybody, but at the cost of saying, but you'll believe this reality that's not a reality because your white guilt and their little clique says this is the way it's going to be. And now there's 71 genders or whatever it is. The main thing is here, Val says a lot of what I said in the promo last week and on Light the Fuse and here. Cornette kind of says it. Disco says it, but he also not hides. I'm not going to say that about Disco. He wants to put it in an angle of like, what shoot, if they were really going to do something, they should put Val Venis on fucking TV and have him wrestle Nyla Rose, right? Like that. Like they're
we
really
need a heel to give her sympathy, or him need to give Nyla sympathy if they want this particular character to be portrayed as a babyface. If not, should be portrayed as a heel that's, as Disco puts it, presented as a biological man beating up biological women.
Could you imagine if
people will talk about that one way or the other?
Dude, if Val Venis showed up on AEW, baseball cap, t-shirt, jeans, came to the ring and cut the promo, not, like fully getting his shit in Val Venis style or anything, but you would know the voice, and he cuts a real one, dude, like he'd be the biggest heel in wrestling, dude. That crowd they might try and kill him, but like that, now that's an angle where instead of us playing wrestler, we're riding on the edge of the razor blade on a rocket we're right in the discussion of what's going on throughout the world. That shit would make world headlines, like to bring that up.
By the way, I've wrestled Val before.
Yeah.
Him against 5,000 AEW fans, I'd pick Val.
Yeah.
You think they could try to kill him, but the minute he takes 3 or 4 down, they're all running.
Yeah. I would start out with, like I see here in the chat room, hello, ladies. But then I go, except for you, Nyla Rose, come on out here. I got something to say to you. Like that, why not do his whole thing like that and chop it up? But,
Disco, really quickly. Yeah. Disco puts it in he doesn't hide in a wrestling sense, but he says, why isn't this just up for discussion in a creative format? Like you just said, if you're uncomfortable as a creative person, if you're uncomfortable and you're like, wow, that might be too much. Like you say all the time, if it's uncomfortable, keep going, go with it. Like you have to bring
that's Del Close.
Casual fans.
Yeah. You follow the fear. And if it feels weird, do it more. Instead, both of those are Godfather of Improv, Del Close, that were handed down to me. They're just not when they address it like this, instead of making an angle out of it where they could play it out in real time, and for both sides, to get both sides to tune in, and now people would really be watching. I bet they'd be at 1,000,005 if they brought Val Venis in, did that angle, and then did the PR. If Brandy did her PR campaign the right way, they'd be on Fox, they'd be on MSNBC. Dude, everybody be talking about it just to tune in next week to see what this is. And now he could be a spokesperson for this trans thing instead of just a wrestling gimmick. You maybe educate Val, maybe educate you and I. Like, I know you're not too hot about it, and I'm not super hot. I just have a weird, when that shit with Rio went down, is weird. Like, and that's like what Disco said. If you're a fan of Rio, how do you feel about a 220-pound man beating? 220 pound. Oof. Oof, that was rough.
Yeah.
A 220-pound man beating her, like that's crazy.
My video is
yeah, your video's off.
Yeah. I've been putting off getting a new computer. I am getting a beach ball of death.
All right.
Might be time for one today. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yeah, I just can't see it.
Yeah, the camera. I got to unplug the camera. I
Okay.
think my USB bandwidth is gone.
Do your thing, man.
Or I'm just scared.
You're scared. Your name's up there, though, so you're accountable. Well, it's gimmick name.
Let me start video, see if I can bring it up.
They'll never catch me, Basha Hanks. That's right. There you
are. What I was going to say was you muted out it, so if you can give me the last 10, 20 seconds again, please.
Like what Disco was talking about, too. What if you're a Rio fan and now you just got killed by a 220-pound man? Like, what's your argument? There's just like these weird hooks that I'd like to know what Cody's or whatever their answer is for it, instead of just Dustin, going, I have a transgender son, I'm tired of this racism. Well, no one wants to step to Dustin and like shit on your son or daughter, whatever they identify as. But this is a big civil discourse conversation, especially in a political year, for such a small minority that's getting so much play off of it that it really doesn't affect the world at all. But we gotta have to have something to bitch about. So here's where your opportunity is. Why aren't you going to capitalize off of it? And instead, in the heat with Val, and to call out Disco, that's the weird thing, man. Like, it made Cody look like, oh, guys who were in the mid card, what the fuck do they know about wrestling? Like,
no. What guys in the mid card of fake wrestling? What do they know about real world and society? I can tell you what. I bet you Val has been a lot more debates and really has challenged himself. And that's another thing Conan put in the comments of that video. They were like, he was like, what was this interview? And it was Wrestling Observer Live. And he's like, why does he keep doing interviews with the same people all the time? How do you agree? You're definitely only playing to people that are going to agree with you within the echo chamber, or not argue with you, or not even question, like, why is this? Now, here's another thing as a fan. If I sit here and go, I don't like really watching wrestling all that much anymore. I don't like watching it. Well, you shouldn't even do a show about it then. Well, I still know what I know.
Right.
I prefer football. I like other things. Or a Val Venis or a casual fan says, I watch it, but like when that comes on, I'm really not into that. I don't like it. So I flip the channel. So now they chastise you and they get mad at you instead of trying to figure out, okay, how can we get this customer to still tune in and make them understand what we're trying to portray during the 2 hours on Wednesday night.
Sure.
No, they say you're wrong, so fuck you, and you're not even a senior manager at your job. Why do you even know about transgenders? That makes no sense.
Here's the problem I got with it, and you're right on with that too. That's their response of, "Fuck you, who the fuck are you? This is where we are now, and if you're not with us, then you're fucking lost in the past." Like,
if you're not with us, now we need to cancel you completely. You need to be destroyed. We're not going to leave you alone. Now all the energy that we can give to try to create a better product is now negatively. I mean, that's in society. Instead of trying to say, let's work our energy to try to push our brand, our agenda, educate everybody, we have to just now, once again, minority of people that might be speaking out about it, because most people are afraid. We need to destroy that one person on Twitter for the next month.
Yeah.
But that month you just spent doing that, you could have really educated the masses of your cause.
Yes, absolutely. To give them a reason to be like, okay, I understand, but they don't. They don't educate, and they just shut it down and go, if you don't accept this, fuck you. Like, because we accepted it and this is just how it is now. Not to give me the reason. Is it like, not that they have to share, but like, just because they're saying these things in reality of who they are as millennials, wishing it to existence, Val has A, fucking truth, and B, genetics, and all this on his side. That one is based on emotional of a want, that you want things to society to treat you. The other is based on DNA and and everything else that makes us up of who we are. And are you going to blur the lines of reality? Here's the problem I have, really, as a businessman and as a creative. That was a choice to put Nyla Rose over, a creative choice. And they knew that when they did that, they were going to have to deal with the fallout of this. Because up until this point, it was cutesy wrestling with a transgender and we're accepting. Now we're going to put the spotlight on it, and now we're going to have to answer to the critics, right? And they didn't have any plan in place to deal with this. They just clapped back with some pass the heat shit. And I don't know, man. Like, if you're going to do a move like that, I know I would have, even at OVW level with my guys there, and I'm sure you and I would have too, of what's happening with the next 3-4 weeks, that we can either get heat or further the storyline, or how are we going to actually, in the PR campaign, because this is such a hot topic, approach that with a specific answer that Khan is signed off on, that everybody understands and shit. But I haven't seen any of that happen, man.
Well, here's the thing. If I were to do it, if you really wanted maximum value, you should have had her be the first champion. I don't understand why they put Rio over then. So let's talk about that. Flip it over. Like, your first champion is a transgender. At that point, probably because you were getting the AOC tweets, you were getting all these different people. I think Elon Musk or something. There's a ton of people that were
Val Venis versus AOC, with AOC in the ring. How good would that be, dude? You'd be at a 3
either, because he even though she would get the sentimental kind of like vote in a way previous to the debate, Val would destroy her with facts, and she would come back with him with the Cody argument. Well, you're a stupid porn star back in the day. Like, no, I wasn't really a porn star. That was a character.
Can you imagine Val looking her up and down? Hello, lady.
Well, he
so
would do
good.
it too.
I know, dude.
She would be, because she's a mark. She would be so flustered off of that. He would completely trigger her. And, by the way, also, I'm just going back to it because of this echo chamber. Really, if you're in that position, obviously, I don't go searching out people that have different opinions every single day, trying to convince them that Stevie Richards Fitness is a good pro. I don't have that. It's not it. There you go, right there. And you got to cut out too, makes the muscle look better. You got a good peak. Joe Rogan went on, and look it up on YouTube. Joe Rogan about the Fallon Fox thing. That was the transgender one in the MMA, and literally smashed the girl MMA fighter's skull. And there was a big controversy. And it wasn't, Disco said it was recently, but it was actually years ago. He went on the same, he said almost verbatim what you said. He said verbatim what Val said. You don't think Joe Rogan would look at that and say, I've had Jake the Snake on, I've had DDP on, I have all these wrestlers on. Man, I'd love to have Cody on and talk about this transgender thing and really debate it. Why isn't Cody or anybody like that going after Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Because they think that Val Venis and Disco are low-hanging fruit, but they don't realize when Cody says, oh, Disco's irrelevant. Okay, well, you just mentioned him and you just came at him with that argument. Now he's more relevant than ever.
I bet that response will get more views than almost anything else.
We can go on forever about it, but the thing is, all that Disco was asking for and all that Conan was asking for. Val's a little bit different, but talk to them. Val loves to debate. He's not going to come at you with personal attacks and lowest common denominator barbs or jabs. He will come at you very aggressively with facts, what he believes, and it's up to you to turn around and say, and if you both end up agreeing to disagree, what's the harm in that? You're not going to change anybody's mind after one discussion.
But we're not even getting close to like, let's have the discussion and what are the answers and why we believe this and why we support this. Instead, this is, if you want to talk about it at a wrestling level, Awesome Kong is gone. The female Dark Order, whatever, is a huge botch. They picked up the needle on the record, put it on the beginning again, and now Nyla Rose is Awesome Kong. And it's as simple as that because they don't have a plan. The women's match last night, which I was looking forward to because both those chicks are right up my alley of of my type, if you will. They both look Stratlander and Shauna both could sub in for wife number one, and like if you were to put them in a police lineup to pick them out, right? So that match was brutal. So their women's division is hurting, and that this was just, we need a smasher, put the heat on her, and they weren't ready. They just thought everyone was going to accept her as her. In this conversation, they were never going to have it. They just thought that we got it over now, and it's going to be double hot too. The second reason why they should really pull the trigger on this, try and get AOC, try and get Val, and what's his name, or her name now, Kardashian stepfather, Caitlyn Jenner said they're gonna be nude on the Sports Illustrated or some shit like that on the swimsuit issue or something like that, man.
Well, it's not going on the Wheaties box anymore.
So dude, like, it's gonna be a hot topic of controversy as the gay mafia of media control tries to push this forward. You might as well get your play out of it. Last night, though, dude, they're in the back in a pre-tape. It might have been going live, but I don't think so. And Nyla is getting interviewed, and the voice, very feminine, very convincing. And you're like, oh, okay. And then she does wrestling voice. Dude, instantly stooges off. Like, okay. It was not an angry woman. Once the anger came out, the facade dropped away instantly, bro. Interesting. That's a big discussion to open, and we'll see where it goes. I don't know if Val's going to try and turn it up while Cody's like, he's just trying to get a booking with us. Well, if it's about business, man, like, that's a storyline that could get you 1 million viewers, maybe even 4 or 5 million viewers, and get you on Fox and get Brandy on Fox and MSNBC. And I can't believe you. To me, that's just like, wow, you just left a trunk of money and walked away from it. I don't know.
Well, and also, yeah, that's what Val's looking for. Val's looking for a platform. He's not looking to be booked on your wrestling show for a fake wrestling match. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When you put that in comparison to, like, now if you said, oh, Val would want to go on Fox News and Val would want to go on MSNBC and debated, that's the platform he wants, the mainstream political platform. And I don't think they would do that, man, because they would come off like, no offense, they would come off like two kids up against a man. Dude, he's been doing this since the day I walked into WWE in 1999. I couldn't, if I had a difference of opinion with him, I'd have to prepare 24 hours a day to get ready for him, because he's doing the same.
I believe you. He's an intense dude. But here's the thing. Why would they get chewed up and spit out? Is it because they can't argue with a guy who's, OCD, debate team type guy? But the argument that they know what they're trying to push is a big load of bullshit. And when that gets the real spotlight shine on it and somebody can talk eloquently with facts against it, it's going to tear down. It's not going to be, they're not going to be able to hide behind the shield of, look at me, my white guilt shows that I'm open-minded. Boom. And everybody who agrees with me, you're awesome too. Yeah, bros, put your Scooby gear on. Like, when it comes down to the reality of the argument of the Rogan MMA shit, all that of what they're trying to push versus what's a reality, it's going to be exposed in the light, and they don't want that heat, bro. They don't want that smoke.
Let's just one more alternative theory on that though. Do you think they? And this is a situation with a lot of them. So it's not just exclusive to Cody, Brandy, or the VPs. Do you think people that defend it most times don't even know what they're defending? They can't quite figure it out because we've added genders. Now it's 71 for real. It was like last time I checked, it was in the low 30s. It's just always moving those goalposts. And Caitlyn Jenner came out a while ago as a Republican, and they started to turn on her. So I mean, like, you know,
the Bernie Bros were fighting each other. I was on Super Ugly show with those guys on Russo brand, and they were talking about two dudes who, like, they just, these people are just professional victims who need to I gotta get it out. It doesn't matter what it is, 24/7, bro. They can't bring it down. It's all got to be me. They're all having a temper tantrum like when they were 2 and 3 years old because nobody smashed their ass with a fucking hard right hand on their little asses and cried and sent to bed. It's timeout time. It's timeout, everybody. Didn't do fuck all for them, and now you got a whole party of them, and they're just buzzing around the hive, and they don't know what the fuck to do, and they won't for another 10, 15 years. Texas Sooner says Val and Disco, managed by Russo, would get the spontaneous trash in the ring in seconds. That'd be a good tag team right there, though. Hey, Disco and Val invade AEW.
Yeah, but Russo's the most trans friendly of all. He had
yeah.
Well, I forget the name, but
in UK,
for years,
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, really. I mean, he's been the one that's been like, he doesn't care, and he'll get the most amount of heat because, once again, they don't know what to defend, but they don't even know why they're hating Russo at this point, except, oh, you wrote trash TV back in it. Okay, well,
yeah, that's
what's the Lana Rusev Lashley thing? What's the Liv Morgan lesbian thing? What's being written today that's way more boring and worse than what Russo put out?
Nothing. Dude, it's hard. When we do Raw review on Tuesday, it's hard to remember SmackDown from Friday. That's how forgettable it is.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Or maybe we're just waking cussed. Thanks for the bits this morning, you guys. JB or Elsford, appreciate that.
Troy with some hits.
Troy with some hits. All right, let's see here.
Sorry, I took you down that road.
Not at all, man.
Minutes.
People wanted that, and you know, I guess I'm so lucky that I'm not an ex-WCW mid-carder. I'm so under the radar in the indie shit because my promos came out before theirs, and nobody's promos were scathing like, fuck this shit. Like, we just asked some simple questions, and their response were, how dare you? How dare you question me? Okay.
I wonder what I'm going to be. Okay. What are they going to consider me to be?
Oh, Shug, you don't have to worry about anybody coming after you.
Dude, here's another thing. I'm not trying to get myself booked.
Yeah.
This will be a Val thing. Val mixes his real life character, and he brings that right to censor character on the AEW.
I think so.
Talks about everything.
Everything.
Like, you can have it, Val. Go ahead. Have fun. Have fun with Tony Khan on the after party.
Just stay out of the way of Havoc. I heard he's a bad motherfucker when he's on Shellfish. Stevie, big checks coming. Residuals, ECW Supershows have been added to the WWE network. As we rape the corpse once again, WWE has added 10 ECW Supershows to the WWE network. The shows are promotion's early equivalent to pay-per-views. The Supercard contains legendary matchups like Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko and other legendary ECW matches from the early days of the Philadelphia-based promotion. Return of the Funker, 1995, is the featured clip there. But I'm sure we're going to get some Blue World Order action in there, man.
I heard it's pre Blue World Order. It's Raven, Stevie, Meanie.
Oh, okay.
So that stuff. No, there are no royalties for WWE Network because reasons.
Oh, well, never mind then. Dude, that early shit, everybody
Did the
should be getting a little
Saudis buy
something.
ECW? Is that why they're calling it Super Shows?
Yeah. Yeah. Guess what? You're going back. They still think that you and Raven are together.
That's okay. Here's your curly wig. Here's your cane wig, Raven. Wear it.
There was a Raven story I was going to try and do here if I missed it or
I live
not.
that guy lives 10 minutes from me, and we haven't even hung out once since I moved to Atlanta. Isn't that crazy? It's not like we're buddy or anything like that, but we're close enough to where like once in a while.
That makes me
We're
sad.
He's still doing his podcast, isn't he?
I don't know. I don't listen to anybody's shit except for TJ and Rush and some of ours. But he may be busy because AEW is teasing that Raven as the Dark Order's Exalted One. The teases for the Dark Order's highly anticipated Exalted One continues as AEW now teased a wrestling legend as that person during the tag team battle royal. The action split in the crowd between Scorpio Sky and the Dark Order. When they brawled, wrestling legend Raven can be seen sat down just watching everything happen. AEW social media channel then teased that the idea could be the Exalted One, pointing out Raven's appearance and adding the Exalted One is always watching. I didn't see that. Let me just run this clip real quick because I missed it. It's 9 seconds. Oh, no, there he is. He's sitting there watching.
And where was this?
This is ringside.
No, where was it in the country?
Atlanta.
It wasn't in Atlanta.
It was in Atlanta last night. That's why I knew you had to get out of the Horseman quick so you could go watch a main event cage match live.
Oh,
yeah.
I love being a football fan. I didn't even know. I had no clue. And why wasn't? Here's the thing. Why wasn't a Scott Steiner, a Bagwell, anybody that lives in the Atlanta area?
I saw a picture.
It already looks like WCW, so use them to get some young guys over.
Yeah, I saw a picture of DD and Austin Aries outside that some fan took and posted, but they weren't on the show.
What was Austin Aries? I thought he lived out west.
I don't know. He was there though, not ticking away. But
is he one of the Northeast indie wrestlers, like just in the neighborhood visiting friends?
Yeah, right. It just happened to be down friends. Here. But he's not working. He hasn't been working like the last 4 or 5 months. I don't know. I got off social media or whatever. But what was bad and good about this? I missed the Raven spot, so maybe I was just not as engaged, but it was during the Battle Royal, so they did this spot, and then they do that, and you see Raven and whatever, and then later in the show, or like 5 minutes later, there's still Dark Order guys at ringside, and they do another spot, like trying to recruit Kawasaki Suzuki or whatever the fuck his name is.
Michael Kawasaki or Nagasaki.
Yuji Nagata or whoever it was. I don't know.
Yuji was good.
What's that?
Yuji was good.
Yeah. Whoever. But like you just had your big spot with Raven. They took out the guy that we really haven't seen from the infomercial, so that was cool and it was really good. And then they do some other business and they come back to this. You're like, dude, why? Why? You fucking had them. And now you just pimped it out and you ended the Dark Order scene on a note that was wrong. Things like that drive me nuts, dude. Like the edits there, you don't go right back to the scene and go, oh, and we missed this too. No movie does that. So be smart. Be smart.
The Dark Order, this is another thing with the identity of AEW. It's supposed to be more like a legitimate sport where wins and losses really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't this kind of against what their mission statement is? That this Dark Order kind of in the Nightmare one with her.
It's not competition, right? It's Angle mythic shit.
It's exactly like, well, why you should have Raven in there, which is awesome. But it's Gaga. It's exactly what they said they don't want.
They don't want.
It's WWE.
100%. 100%
okay.
that.
I'm just wondering. I mean, you can change it if you want.
Yeah.
But how do the hardcore AEW fans, the ones that count the wins and losses and reversals and number of times for strikes and all that stuff, how are they going to feel when they're raining down very slow punches that miss
The long,
during the heat?
yeah, the long-term bills are coming due. When they first sat down at the table and ordered the big things they wanted, now's the indigestion because you got to digest them.
Expound on that a little bit.
They wanted to do the
Do you like that
SJW.
word?
Yeah, I loved it. They want to do the SJW. Everybody's included. Okay, sure. We want to hire our friends who are business exposing bad as wrestlers. Okay, sure. You want to get all the indie darlings who really can't get over and not give you the value. We'll take those too. And then, you guys will all be sealed outside of our bubble. And if you say anything against us, we can't hear that. Low, low. They love our ratings. They love where we are. Nothing. We don't need to expand our audience. No. And now here we are, where the light is shining on you and a choice that you make where you have to answer an SJW question about transgender and you don't have something prepared because you're really not a vice president, you're not an executive, you're not a business person, you're not a PR person, you're not really a branding person, that the bill comes due. And when you're sitting there and everyone's going, aha, what are you going to say? And you go, fuck Disco and Val, mid-carders don't know what they're talking about.
They just want a job.
They just want a booking. Like, oh, okay.
What do you think the people are there? What do you think? It's like somebody, I can't believe he went to Best Buy and had a job interview. That motherfucker just wants a job. Like what?
Yeah. But to me, the fact is that they don't have an answer ready to go that's well thought out, PR that pushes the agenda to make them look foolish like old curmudgeons, you damn kids. Instead, they look like you damn kids who just wanted to go, I'm progressive because I said this, everybody's going to do it. Well, let's answer the hard facts and questions. No hard facts and questions for me today, you assholes. Moving forward.
It's kind of like if somebody ever asked them the question outside of the Wrestling Observer Live, if they said, I'm this and that and believe in this, I say, well, what made you start believing that? How dare you? I can't believe you would even question my beliefs. You're a bigot. Right? I'd want to know. Like,
Shields.
Say, hey,
Shields.
how did you
progressive shields up?
Yeah. How did you what made you stop liking wrestling and start liking football more? I'm just giving a general, and if I was defensive, like, are you saying wrestling's fake? Yeah. Like, what, wait a minute. That's not even the question. Yeah. Like, you could have just, there's a moment to educate and a moment, and we keep coming back to that, but this really is the crux of what their mission statement was. Also, I know it's not because I want a booking, because I really am curious, like, about the pay scale. Why is it such a secret if they said everybody was supposed to be, dude, am I imagining this? I bring it up every week.
Two more indie names announced this week I saw for shows that AEW indie names were going to be on.
Did they say equal pay for everybody? And according to your experience level, you'll get paid more, or you're like, they started to muddy it up, but initially it was equal pay for everybody who comes in as TV. Everybody's going to be signed to a minimum amount of money, right? And we had heard 150,000 a year or something.
I think 130. I think is what we heard. Yeah.
Well, after 100, who
can
count? But you said two names now, and these aren't the, I don't know what our names are. I mean, even Luchasaurus is a full-time TV worker there, but these are guys that are supposedly in their main event push, right?
Should be.
So who are they?
As far as who's taking indie
booking?
bookings?
The two names that are on the indies now.
I know Lucha's taking bookings. Orange Cassidy's booked.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's one, right? And that's supposed to be real tight with the boys. And then there was another name supposed to be coming to WrestlePro that I don't know if Kevin Matthews announced it or not, but he said it's another AEW talent. And Pat Buck is the other owner of WrestlePro, who is a WWE agent. Now, Stratlander came out of WrestlePro, so I understand that they might have a open door there, but that's an interesting thing where I'm surprised they haven't shut that conduit down because of how close it is. Also, Spears and Tyler Breeze's thing, very interesting with WWE, AEW. Like, that's a pipeline for Stooge Report back and forth. So WWE just must not give a fuck because they're letting it happen and they don't take them seriously. But they should be making moves to be taken seriously. But when it comes to being signed to a major company, chances of you taking indie bookings, and I know there's another booking too that he's taken that isn't with like a pipeline in between of how they already have it. So nobody with a company, if you want to make sure that aren't going to get hurt. Now, Orange Cassidy's spot isn't much where he gets hurt. He did take a bump this week, but he might just be doing something thumbs uppy on there, and it's just a spot. But usually it doesn't work like that, man. You're not going to let signed talent go work an indie show where somebody can fuck them up when they're way more important for your TV going forward for the next year, as opposed to one, whatever he's getting now that he's on TV, $1,200 payday or something like that.
Oh, even bigger name than that, works Mexico all the time, is Kenny Omega. He's their champion. Why is Khan not turning around and saying, I've made this before, like, it's rough enough as it is, and they're working 10, 20-minute matches that are very physical and very exhausting. Do you really want them coming from, a Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday shot, and then flying back and then trying to recover from that, or getting hurt, and now you have to change your booking? And on the talent side, if you got to work one day a week and then maybe a pay-per-view and then a TV, that's an incredibly great schedule to keep you in the best shape of your life. And if you're getting 130 grand or more a year, it's like, I can save some money. I can build my home gym. I can get a personal trainer. Maybe I can start doing the meal service, the prepackaged meals, like Pepper does, keeps himself in great shape. These are the things that, or maybe I can work on my brand and try to expound other ways of doing things to get some more passive income. If I want to be greedy, bumping is not the efficient way or the responsible way to have longevity with your brand and with this company. It's like, don't look, what's the fucking saying about don't look, the forest saying?
Oh, sorry.
Don't see the forest.
You can't see the forest through the trees. Yeah, like
you should be looking at the real long game of your career in this product. I mean, wrestlers are always going to be greedy and bleed anybody dry, but don't bleed yourself dry and your bump card dry in the meantime.
And you're trying to look a certain way out of the gate here. And if your guys are going and working indies, you just don't, it's not a right look, I don't think. Maybe that's me, old school, coming from the Monday Night War era and then OVW of like, dude, if you showed up there, like, look when Robbie showed up at fucking Impact, like, done, right? That, like, fucked his career forever, kind of. And it wasn't anything, he didn't do anything bad. It's just that they saw him, they're like, done. So you just don't let your other talent go and do that. So this is weird to me. And again, we've talked about it before. Where's the numbers? Are they really getting paid what they say? I don't know. All Elite Wrestling has issued the following for immediate release. AEW's first ever toy line captures and amplifies the exhilaration and passion of wrestling's hottest new franchise, unrivaled, quote unquote. Action figures feature top AEW talent and authentic play and display toys and collectibles debut at retail this year. AEW Le Champion, Chris Jericho, Cody, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Moxley, and more. The new AEW Unrivaled line will be on display at Jazzware's booth Toy Fair in New York City, February 22nd through the 26th, and will hit retail later this year. That's not where you're going. You're going to Boston, Stevie. You can't.
PAX East. That's a video game convention.
Yeah, you're not gonna. You can't get your hand on these new hot toys.
I still take Val over the entire PAX East convention.
So they're getting their toys, more merch as they continue to roll things out. I'm sure they'll make a shitload off them. It's almost worth buying them for the marks to hold on to them for 5-10 years to come back and re-release them. You know what I mean?
After they close down.
Yeah. Yes.
Is there a Tony Khan action figure? I bet there will be.
Stone Cold Stunner and mark out action.
Like, oh, look at Jeff Goldblum has an action figure.
Good one. Good one.
Do you think Tony Khan gets it? Do you think Tony Khan ever, or anybody in AEW ever listens to this and Tony knows about like what especially what you've said? I know that they.
What was that heat? What was that heat pass right there?
Oh, that's how you treat it if you're looking
especially
for a
what
booking.
you
See,
said.
There's your. It's called passing the heat 101.
Nah.
No, dude, I'm just dude. What do I know? Am I placing a card? Why should I even be like on this show?
Yeah, they don't even know.
Really disappointing that you have me as a co-host.
I got everything I needed out of you especially after that heat pass.
I can't believe, especially after you've led this charge against Tony Khan.
And Nyla Rose, me. Come on, get behind me, everybody. It's not you, but watch it go behind.
No more go behind.
No.
I've come from the time where that was a joke when calling a match. I don't think we can do it anymore.
I came from a time where I saw WWE take the OVW model, rip it, and start FCW and pull up their contract with OVW. And now there's a WWE-produced FCW documentary airing after the Elimination Chamber on WWE Network. Via today's edition of The Bump, WWE's confirmed they'll be releasing a full-length documentary entitled The Future of WWE, the story of FCW, on Sunday, March 8th, following this year's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. The show will cover WWE's modern version of FCW, a promotion out of Tampa, Florida that was the precursor to what we now know as NXT. The documentary will feature new interviews with superstars and coaches who built FCW from the ground up, as well as an ever-before-seen behind-the-scenes footage. Operated by Steve Kern from October 2007 to August 2012, FCW aired on local Tampa television and featured many WWE talents. Are now more than familiar with everyone. Everyone from Bray Wyatt to Seth Rollins to Roman Reigns got their start in FCW, often under developmental gimmicks. The show's archives are full of hidden gems, including a stunning bout between Daniel Bryan and Low-Ki, a triple threat match between all three members of The Shield. WWE Network has previously had clips of FCW in their hidden gems section, but they're no longer available after the network's recent redesign. One hopes that WWE will put the FCW archives on the network in full so you can see where a lot of WWE's biggest current stars got their starts. You want to go and then I can go, or you want me to go and you can go?
I remember when I went down there a couple times when we were thinking about me being a coach down in FCW, and Kern had put a ton of money into that place. That's a pattern they have up until the NXT. Like, put the money in, and like I remember him just not like kind of sweating about it, because I think it was initially 75, 80 grand put into this, and it was a small place. But you're talking about rings, this, that, the other thing. The infrastructure for that was kind of it's a daunting task to know that they can just shut it down, just like they did here in McDonough with Bill DeMott. They just shut down Deep South overnight. They did a Baltimore Colts, Cleveland Browns thing. I remember Nova told me, had the truck, loaded it up, drove it down to Tampa. So tell your OVW story, because it can't be much different than that.
Well, one thing that's if you really want to hear about some shit about Kern and whatnot, you should go back and listen to the Conspiracy Horseman Brian Jack episode.
That was the softball I threw.
So there's a lot there, and all you got to say is the name Kern. And BJ's not the most stable. I care about him, but dude, he's ruined for life from this experience. Kern
He's not the only one either, by the way.
No.
Some people hide it better, but the WWE or whatever, whichever association they have in that chain of command, it's destroyed a lot of people, and to an extent, it's we don't have people with us today because of the mental stress it put on them.
Absolutely. And this is the beginning of the factory system that ruined wrestling. This is the exact point. Somebody asked me of like, when did it change? this October 2007 because Kern can't get a performance out of them, and they just started wanting to crank out Randy Orton's, and they did. Everybody got a gay porn name. If you had a beard, guess what? You're cutting your beard to show that you'll do what we tell you to do. You got long hair, it's going. You showed up here and you know your gimmick, fuck your gimmick. Here's now you're Brad Stratford or you're whatever it is, man. Like just cookie cutter, and this is Bailey and all them. This is what they got. And somebody said, yeah, now you got it, how we want to do it. Because what promos did Kern ever cut? What promos did Johnny Ace ever cut? So Kern and Ace show up, and they take in with Triple H and HBK. Maybe Ace wasn't with him for this one. He was there for the tryout. But, dude, they come into OVW, and Kern's taking 360-degree pictures of the whole place. 4400 Shepherdsville Road, Louisville, Kentucky. And we get the big speech from Game. OVW will always be WWE property. Our biggest stars will come here. We'll never, ever stop having a relationship with them. 6 weeks later, they pull the contract from OVW. But Danny is a real promoter, Danny Davis. Nightmare Danny Davis. He's got Cornette backing, and Rip owns Part 2. I don't know if Al did at the time, but he still has Al. And I mean, Robert Gibson was there at the time. I think Dr. Death might have still been there and with us at the time. And a lot of people coming through. They go and buy the small warehouse, same as OVW, set up the shit to get going to start the factory system. All the contract guys get moved down there. And the guys who were like on the cusp go too. They signed like a couple dudes, like I call him the professor in OVW. Gavin Garrison, and they changed him to Fletcher, I don't know, some stupid porn name, and he was never heard from again. Now he works for Budweiser, and he's a super smart dude high up in the executive stuff. But, they just took everybody, and that was gone. Now, that's when I got the book with, Roadkill was still there. Sal was there at the time. He knew all this shit was going on, too, so it's the same story. And we took over and did what we wanted to do and got more guys signed, and the creative got a lot better while they just became a factory system that once Vince got out of Kern and Ace what he wanted to, I don't know if they got paid out or not, but I know they were both invested to about the tune of $250,000. And I think they fucking took a bath on it because they're not that, Ace been around. He knows the politics, but he's not his brother in the ring. He's not Animal. And, they had Dr. Tom, who's fucking a great teacher and whatnot. But if you got guys like Kern who are snakes in the grass, as BJ describes them, very much more than that, you're set up to fail. And now we're going to do a hidden gem section. Watch the Ascension when they made them look stupid and not mythic at all. And then they had to get back over in NXT after they made them shave their heads and give them gay porn names. Watch this person as you knew him as American Dragon. And now he's not Brian Daniels. He's Daniel Bryanson and Brian Danielson and son Daniel of the Bryans. And like whatever the fuck they want to do. Like just the incompetence and true thievery of what they did. Is that going to be in this documentary? Because I don't think it is.
Oh, this is definitely self-destruction of Ultimate Warrior type, ignorance of history.
Yeah. It's gonna be the sea of the stars and the people who made them, and then Seth Rollins. Here's what it's gonna be in there. I'll tell you right now. It'll be Seth.
He's too busy with Black History Month.
It'll be Seth and Tyler Breeze. It'll be a funny, shooting. These kids at NXT don't know how good they got it. We were on Street Team. They used to have to go out and poster and put up posters at fucking gas stations or on the fucking, when they're coming to the town and they had to work ring crew. Oh, boo fucking who, dude? Anybody who goes to OVW, even if you're not signed, you're working ring crew for a year and a half before you might even get a fucking tryout match where you're Dre Blitz and fucking Vladimir Kozlov kills you in fucking 2.2 seconds. And like, that's your peak. These guys are like, these NXT kids don't know how good they got it. They didn't have to do Street Team. Fucking gag me with a spoon, bro. Like when I saw some of that type of shit, that's what's going to be in there, dude. Those types of things where it's like, man, did you know Seth Rollins was out here postering? Oh, Big fucking deal. Was he doing pre-sale too? Was he getting his cut of the tickets? Was he doing the barter system with local cable TV? Was he out getting sponsorships so he can get 25% of anything he sells? Was he out, getting better deals for the boys for after party and sponsorships and shit like that? No, that's what a real indie producer does, what a real street team does. But they're just gonna bitch about like they had it so fucking hard there, man. Give me a break.
So you're looking forward to this documentary?
I can't wait, to be honest with you, to see how big of a lie it really is.
I'm sure Danny can't wait either, and Cornette and everybody that ever had anything to do with OVW to see, that. Yeah, look for the Cornette podcast clip coming soon.
Sorry
Rip
if I went
Rogers
off
too.
Hustler.
Rip will look at that and be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, whatever. And look at the guys they made. They all needed to be repaired. There's not one FCW talent. You can say the Shield, Roman, and whatnot, but they had to be put together to hide their flaws, not because they were all awesome in some super group, which is a smart booking. And Joey Mercury sees the cool in them and can get it over in a WWE Gaga kind of way, but there's no FCW brilliance of anything that was going on from Tyler Black to Seth Rollins' metamorphosis.
Well, there's no NXT to WWE brilliance conversion either.
I mean, you're looking forward to Kevin Cross where he comes out and does this.
Yeah, I can't wait for him to be like the new Friar Mike.
Yeah, big cat.
Bastion Booger was Friar Mike.
Yeah.
Friar what? What was it? It wasn't Friar Mike.
What was
his real name was Mike.
That's gonna drive me nuts too.
It was a fucked up Friar Ferguson or something.
Yeah, It might have been Friar Ferguson. That might have been it, man. Oh man, 8-man tag team match confirmed for Friday Night SmackDown this week, Stevie. Usos are set to team up with tag champs New Day as they compete against Miz Morrison, Rude, and Ziggler. I can't wait for more of this. Bella Twins are going to join a moment of bliss. Whew, wow. Goldberg appears live. I don't know if it's via Skype or not. And then Naomi versus Carmella. Winner faces Bayley at Super Showdown. Wow, bro.
They're going back to Saudi.
Going back to Saudi. I'm going back to Saudi. Have you a long time? That was painful to read just to see that on a booking sheet. Like those 4 fucking segs. I'd be like, wow, we got to redo this show, bro.
What is the thought process in just putting 6 and 8-man tags together? Because it gives you every bit of credibility when you call it a shitty 6-man, because it's the laziest. You have 2 hours. Why can't you can make 3 matches out of that minimum? Why are you not doing that?
Right. What story are you telling with Rude and Ziggler? They're just thrown in there. They're the 2 best workers that I named in that match, and they're the fucking float utility guys. To look forward to the Bellas on Moment of Bliss. Oh, man.
I'll tell you what's going to happen is Rude's going to get the pin to give him something for that elimination chamber thing so he can put whatever over and be eliminated first.
Okay.
That's what it is. Because he's in that thing in the poster, right?
Right.
Oh, man.
I don't know, dude. That was just stiff to even think about. Like, that's 36 hours away, and I'm already dreading it. Tito Ortiz reportedly training to wrestle at WWE Performance Center. It's about time this young stallion got in the ring. According to reports by that idiot Meltzer on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, legend Tito Ortiz has been training with WWE recently. Ortiz has been involved in professional wrestling previously, but only for brief moments. He's worked for Impact as a one-off special guest referee, and again a few weeks as a member of Aces and Eights. Below, Meltzer says, quote, Tito Ortiz is training to be a professional wrestler at the Performance Center as we speak. He was there all week. I heard great things about his work ethic, which doesn't surprise me. Enthusiasm, which doesn't surprise me. Yeah, he can work anybody. I don't know. Oh, are him and Jenna Jameson still together? I don't think so.
No. It's been a while. They broke up before his fight with Chael Sonnen, which That should be the guy they should go for.
Yeah,
Why are you not doing that, man?
Yeah.
Why are you not at least having him on the the kickoff shows or commentary, or what is going on here? I'm convinced because they just don't want to pay him.
Probably.
Like, why isn't Chael doing unless he has so much stuff going on and he can't work for Fox because UFC is not on Fox anymore.
Yeah.
But how are you not trying to pay that guy everything to talk about this kind of stuff? I think in his mind, he's probably just like, he can't go. You can make the real shoot fighting entertaining and put the spin on it. You can't make entertainment seem like a sport.
Do you think, yeah. Do you think when he gets up there, that Vince will know the difference between him and Humberto Carrillo and he'll just get them mixed up?
I'd like to see Tito in the Mexican soap opera with those guys.
It would be good, cool. Right? It would be good.
I don't know if Tito's been a wrestling fan. He's been very, very respectful of the business. He's done some stuff with TNA on multiple occasions as a ref and stuff. I think he did a thing with Rampage on Impact too.
He cuts the best UFC promo, and he would get the gimmick with the digging and that shit over. You know, he knows how to fucking get character over post win. You know, and he does come through the camera, but dude, Cain Velasquez, like what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Is that going to be something? We're going to have a whole group of real ex-shooters, UFC guys, Brock, Cain, and Tito, and then maybe Chael.
Well, you got Tyson Fury, too.
Tyson Fury. And why isn't this guy in the mix? Shelton Benjamin re-signs with WWE despite hesitation. Shelton Benjamin recently spoke with Lillian Garcia on Chasing Glory podcast that he has signed a new multi-year deal with the company despite hesitations about where his career is headed. Benjamin expressed frustration on the podcast. He said, despite the lack of momentum every week, I'm ready to go. Lately, I've been doing as much as far as on air with WWE. For me, it's just frustrating. So when you contacted me to do this interview, my first thought was, I don't even know what to talk about because right now I'm not really doing anything that's fulfilling to me. I'm here every week. I'm ready to go. For me, it's like when I watch shows like this, Chasing Glory, people are chasing something. Right now, I don't even feel like I'm on the hunt. Not that I don't want to be. This just frustrates me on a personal level. But yes, I've signed a multi-year deal with WWE, so I'll be here for a little while. Dude, why is Brock not pulling for his boy to be like, dude, I want this guy in my storyline? He's another one who is a shooter. And Dolph Ziggler, I mean, even though he's a lot smaller than everybody I mentioned, is too. Shorty G, like, you know, why aren't we taking advantage of this legit Matt cred, instead of keeping everybody separate and everything's phony as fuck wrestling-wise?
He literally said, well, it's a job. What can I do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I give it to him for being honest and not trying to do the rah-rah like, oh, it's so, you know, he's too smart and he's been around too long.
Yeah. Boy.
And if you're going to be mad that he's saying, like, this is the Matt Hardy thing, how dare you point out the fact that we treat you like shit and now we're going to treat you like shit and not use you. And then when you come out and point out that we're not using you and treating you like shit, then we're going to really show you what treating you like shit looks like. Tone deaf once again.
Completely. I just, you know, and he's been there that long, go along to get along. I get it. He wants to make his money. Is one saying you guys might not be familiar with is, you know, you're paid to travel and wait. The wrestling's free. And that's kind of what he's doing right now. Unfortunately, he's been there long enough. It seems, well, if you try and step up, they could easily fuck. Who the fuck are you? I'll squash you, and you'll be the other black son of Kurt Angle. You know, like it was really you all the time that was Jason Jordan's father. Like that could come down on you. Instead of like, how can we approach this? How does he get in the hunt, bro? You got to load your rifle and you got to step out there and sharpen your knife and check your compass and head off in a direction, my man. I want to see guys like this shine in the time when they're in their prime years of being able to do this and play their, you know, magnum opus. And if he's just sitting there and we're waiting for a quick shine from Paul E or something in a scene in a utility match, well, that's a waste of fucking money, man. You got a Kentucky thoroughbred racehorse there who could win this race for you in ratings and putting on main events that actually mean something, where it protects Brock because he's with his boy, and whoever's going after Brock has got to get through Shelton Benjamin, and Shelton Benjamin's no easy fucking task. That's your main events with Paul Lee and fucking being able to talk on the mic and get the story over. Not this shit that we're getting 8-man fucking shitty 6 matches, shitty 8s. Like, I've been in plenty of these. I know they're filler or for post show. They might lead to something where you put a bigger star in them later when it means something. But right now is your go home. Lazy, wrong, misbooking. Bruce Pritchard doesn't know how to put a show together.
Here's the false positive or the false gauging of time. And this is where wrestling is just so fucking backwards. Is anybody looking at during the course of the career of Tom Brady in the NFL, or anybody like Jameis Winston enter his 5th year? These rookies are now here. You know what I'm saying as far as time. When Andrew Luck was in the league for how many years, it wasn't people were saying, wow, we're so tired of seeing Andrew Luck. He's been playing for 5 or 6 years. Get the fuck off my TV. No, as you get older and you get more experience, it's like, this guy's getting good, and I got to see him grow. I have an emotional connection. But
unless it's Eli Manning, and then you get fucking
exactly.
Sorry.
So when you get in wrestling, it's weird because Vince or the creative people or the writers or Bruce or Paul see you backstage for 8 to 10 hours before the show even goes on the air, and then see you on house shows and see you in other places and deal with you outside of the 6 to 15 minute sample size that you give the fans every week. To them, you're stale before you even get rolling. Remember we talked about that before? Like Vince wakes up and be like, man, I've been looking at this wrestler for 3 months every day and seeing him at TVs and stuff. I'm tired of seeing him. Like, no, you see him. It's so, I don't know how you break that. So in essence, like, you can say Shelton's a shooter, Shelton cut a promo, he's still more athletic than half the roster. He can do a lot of different things, and he looks like a man. So you're like, when he's beating on you, it looks like a guy beating on you with credibility and a background in shoot wrestling. Well, that's not translating on TV because Vince and Bruce, well, he's already won 3 titles, so he's already, we've done all we can do with him.
He tried.
There's no, the thing I really hate about wrestling is, and when they talk about this fictional Hall of Fame, which we brought up last week, it's like, who gives a fuck? Because you cannot be the best you can be. This goes back to the argument of Cody on Val and Disco. There's a multitude of reasons. Like Conan said, they didn't see anything in you. Someone in the office didn't like you. You weren't ready, or they felt like you were. It's gauged so fake and subjectively that you can't. So when Shelton does this, like, are you going to give him a speech? Like, hey, heard your interview. Don't you love the business? Don't you love being here? Any fucking normal, sane person wouldn't, because they'd be like, dude, I can just get a regular job if I want to be treated like it's a regular job. Fuck off.
Yeah.
He's going to get heat for saying that, for telling the truth. And nothing he said was mean, negative, burying the company, but he's calling it what it is.
Yeah. And he's saying it like a guy who's been there for 15 years would, who's seen it all, up and down. I go back to Team Angle and him and Haas. Think about how long ago that was and how fucking great they were together, man. And when we could have had that again, instead we got Jason Jordan's my illegitimate bastard child. Great stuff, pal. Yeah, that's good shit. The Bobby Roode thing, did you think he was going to go over or take the fall there?
He's not going to take the fall. They're going to build him for 2 weeks before elimination.
I thought maybe Big E up, Black Eyes up in Black History Month, but I don't know.
No, we do that in March.
Okay.
We don't do that. Hey, by the way, Norm, my guy I used to work for out in Pittsburgh, Norm Connors, he was promoter out there.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote on Facebook, he just came up in my timeline. AEW is firing all cylinders now. A miracle for such a young company. It's so refreshing. It's the excellent, logical booking that has a beginning and a conclusion.
He's hilarious, that guy. I mean, main event was good. There was a lot of holes in between. He can listen to Light the Fuse podcast if he wants to, and then maybe he'll wake up.
Well, he did say beginning and conclusion. He didn't say the middle.
Oh, okay. All that shit in the middle doesn't matter, right? It's all about the get over in your entrance and what's a finish. Texas Sooner says, Stevie, how much time would you say you spent with me, pal, Vincent Kennedy McMahon? God damn it, get my own name right. During your 9 years there.
It was 9.5. Let's not, when you do a prison sentence, you don't want
You
to
don't
take
want to
anything
take
off.
time
I get
off.
more street cred.
You still on parole?
During the right to censor quite a bit. And I don't know. There's definitely a lot of wait a minute, what's going on here?
You all right?
Yeah, no, I just got something for my wife.
Right.
Here's the thing: it's the old toys, new toys, or toys that I don't bother playing with right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it is usually. Vince always put me over in meetings, from what I understood, and he liked my work. He liked what I was. What in the world? Oh, somebody bought a rack instead of from Force USA. They bought something else. No, but that's my wife sending me.
Wow.
Sorry about that. So getting back to it, it's very much the, who's their favorite at the time or what's fresh. And because he had a hard on for the Parent Television Council, he wanted to make sure I got what was needed in the promo to say the big fuck you to them.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was it really was supposed to only be a 2 or 3 week rib. Number one, to cut my hair, to see if I would cut my hair.
Sure.
Number two, to get back at them. There was no positives of trying to draw money with it. But when Jacob Israel, who was the writer at the time, and I turned it into a David Koresh cult type thing, Vince at least saw that, oh, we got something here. And he was very hands-on with that kind of stuff. And the worst thing is with that, I was already along lines where I was Paul Heyman's favorite, then I was out on the outs with him, then I was a favorite again, that he didn't care. Then, you know what I mean? The roller coaster ride of the promoter telling you how great you are and then totally ignoring you. It can fuck with your mind as a performer that wants that.
And you're only as good as your last. You're only as good as your last seg too, right?
Which I liked. I appreciate that, but it's really the phoniness of the you're the best and I really do believe in you. And then who are you? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real thing. Like entertainment and wrestling and all that stuff is a real thing. So it's jolting at first, but by the time I got to WWE, you're around Vince and you're around Bruce or you're around these people around Vince. And then you realize, like, holy shit, like, especially if you're not cutting throats and stabbing backs and doing this and that. And you see how they, like, I remember I told you, my wife told me, I have a great instinct for shitty people. Like, I have a really good radar for that. And anytime I was around people, not Vince so much, although he tries to intimidate you, but around his yes men and other people, dude, when you have like Steve Lombardi or Bruce Pritchard or other people trying to ask you these questions to get you to bury somebody else, which will bury yourself, trying to get you to, like, hey, man, that match last night really sucked between these two guys. To which I learned how to say the two things that got me through was, everybody has their thing. And the other thing was, I think it worked out best for both parties. And they would just get so pissed because they couldn't fucking get the marionette puppet strings on anybody to get, whatever. So long story short, you want to be around Vince in the beginning. You really want to be near him. You want to try to get your ideas, much like the writers when they first get there. You want to be around people and have an influence and make sure they know that you're trying to be the best wrestler you can. As time goes on, you try to avoid all those people at all costs. You try to, it's a Shelton Benjamin, like, hey, I'd like to be there, but all right, I'll do this and I'll stay under the radar.
I'm there, but you're not doing nothing with me. Here I am, but okay, I'll see you in the next city. Well,
here's the thing too, like just to get a little history, and then the thing with the Val Venis and disco thing rolls into my mind from Cody again. In ECW, when they pushed me, first of all, as Raven's lackey, kind of had that underrated star type of thing, like this guy's going to be a star. Blue World Order was like, this guy's going to be the next star. that I choices of my own or not. Went to
Yeah.
WCW, got put back into whatever. Went to WWE, did nothing for a year and a half or a year. Right to censor. This guy's going to be the next star. Politics. Hunter was also a heel. Things got put in motion on my side and Jacob Israel's side that sabotaged it, and the run was over. Obscurity pretty much off and on the entire other 8 years. So then I was considered to be the world's biggest jobber in history. Can't win a match. Oh, Stevie's on TV. He's going to lose. This is the paradigm shift in careers in a fake subjective business.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't shake it. Even in TNA with Dr. Stevie and going back to EV2, what do people say about me all the time? I know what they say.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy, what the fuck, he talks about wrestling. What the fuck does he know? And he never won a match. Dude, everybody you see on TV today, just about everybody had a house show running with me for 3 to 6 months.
So they could learn it.
So they could get ready.
Yep.
There's a responsibility in that. But the office is also full of marks that says, well, he loses every match. How do we keep this
Doesn't
guy
that
around?
seem like the Cody fucking thing of like...
Sorry about that. That's a little bit of a tangent, but I want people to realize that when they say, well, you don't get excited about the fact that you got this opportunity to do this. You don't get excited because of this or that. We didn't get excited. I didn't get excited for the TV deals we could have had because you know what? It's better to be like this the whole time. The most dangerous thing you can have in entertainment and also in wrestling is hope, because they see that and they want to manipulate it and they want to fuck with you and they want to crush it. So if you don't sell it, can't get disappointed, right?
Right. They can't get to you and they'll move on to the next one because all they're looking to do is get a rise out of somebody.
I mean, I'm sorry if it came off negative. I don't mean to be
no,
negative
not at all.
about it.
No, it's honest, man.
I love where we're at. I love where we're at, where we can't, dude. If I don't want to take a booking, I won't take a booking. If it's somebody I don't care for, if it's somebody, a promoter I heard is a fucking scumbag, even if it's a 10% chance that they can fuck me or they're going to make my experience with them not the most pleasant experience. If I'm going to leave my house, it's going to be for Luke Hawks. If I leave my house, it's going to be for somebody that's going to treat me with respect in a locker room where I can sit there and not look around and get fucking side-eyed, even from people I worked with who have that fucking air about them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be around people I don't want to be around. Russo says it. He's old enough now to where he's like, you're going to really have to convince me to do something I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're getting there and you're already there, I bet too.
Yeah. I'm not there fiscally, but if any of those bookings you don't want, feel free to send them this way. Barons can hit me up time you want.
Fucking monster.
Michael John says, Stevie, you and Victoria made a great team. I agree with that, but there again, here we are. Victoria goes to Raw after is a name like a well-established, who knows what the heat is, whether it was the sex tape or whatever. But if that's that, you got how many girls backstage doing Harry Muff Potter shots in the mirror or fucking got their own vibrator tapes out there or getting 2-on-1, but Victoria's got the heat. Very strange. I don't know if you want to address that. And if you, I think the other thing was, not necessarily to be more positive or what have you, but like, is there something in that time where you're close to Vince McMahon? This is what I'm interested in, where you feel an energy where he's pulling a performance out of you, or he's excited, or how he directs you, or when you come through the curtain and you know you had him, where he's what's he like, or what's his excitement there, or what's his notes there in that moment? Pre and post show, I guess.
Like I said, Vince always gives off an energy too of a little bit of intimidation. He knows he's Vince McMahon and he knows you're not. So, and he knows you work for him. So if I stepped into the office now, it would be a lot different. But then again, you have to enter it like Jericho or Edge or other people where I don't care. I know my business. You
I
have to
mean,
really,
like that right to censor peak time where you were really the focus and you're the toy that he's playing with. You know what I mean?
yeah. But then you got to deal with the other end of it of guys that have been there that are jealous, that are waiting for you to fall, or happy to help to contribute to it. You
Yeah,
understand?
sure.
You can't ever really enjoy it. Nobody's really ever truly happy for you,
I just
if
mean
that
when
makes sense.
what's he doing when he's molding that clay? When he's playing with a toy, what's he trying to? How is he? What's he conveying to you in the script? What he wants to? Or you just
This is what you're going to say.
okay?
Like, I knew what it was. Like, what beef do you have with these people, and what do you want to do? Then after he had his time telling them to go fuck themselves, and we turned it into what we turned it into, Jacob Israel, myself, we didn't see him at all. There was just certain things. Vince didn't come out hands on for any kind of physicality with it either.
Hmm.
He didn't walk through anything. Um, what was the other question about with him?
Victoria with
Oh,
her.
Victoria, dude, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell you, but I will tell you this.
Well, we can
I'm
tell you
not
on page.
joking.
We can tell you on Patreon for $10 a month. You
Yeah,
guys.
we can relive it. We can actually have her on. But I want to really talk about this because there's some level of pride to at this point, especially for us, no matter what level it is. And I wasn't being like sarcastic or cynical or trying to play it off like, oh, I'm so cool, because I legitimately didn't know AEW was in Atlanta last night. I didn't know, because we have the Horsemen, we have other things. I produce stuff. I have my own fitness brand. I have other stuff I enjoy doing. So when people show up too, and I know Victoria just showed up to see people, but I don't want to be one of those people that show up and I'm in that lineup of other guys trying to get jobs or whatever. That time has passed. If people wanted to book me, just like I'm convinced Pop It On, you, Sal, anybody, if they really do want to talk to you about it, they'll get in touch with you. But the power play is show up, kneel at the altar, and then we'll see if you can even stay. Because now we didn't just release you. We didn't just snub you on the Raw reunion or other things with the girls or anything like that. But we're literally going to tell you to leave. That you're not the rejection of a phone call from Johnny Ace to release you, not the rejection of the snub or not even reaching out and asking. That's the silence.
3 years later, Carano calls game. Should this kid even be here? No, get him out of there. Like that, like no reason, just to fucking come back and hit you again, like kick the dead body.
Dude, Jay, that guy had to look at Carano saying, looking him up and down, going, "You're fucking throwing me out."
He made Cone go tell him. So
John's a good guy.
yeah, John,
you know
he's like, dude, I hate to do this, and he was like, and James was like, I gotta go. He's like,
but Carano wasn't like that.
no, nope.
Carano, and so getting back to that, putting in wrestling too, and this is such big picture stuff we're talking about and kind of high level in a way, but in wrestling, you have some kind of weird, sick mental disorder to put yourself in situations to be rejected. To fight City Hall, to almost always need to be the underdog. I've grown to where, like I said, I don't put myself in situations or chase people and their approval who I don't even care about anyway.
I agree.
It's a weird thing that I'm at right now. It really is. And it's kind of a freeing thing. And I think a lot of it was when I met my wife. She made me realize my worth in a lot of ways, not in a way like you should ask for $1,000 or anything, but she was like, you really need to think about this or that, or, hey, this person, the other thing too is, and like I said, it's on the indies, the promoters trick all the time. And this is a promoter's trick on TV too. Hey, come in. I can't give you your asking rate, but do me this favor this time, because I didn't have enough time to promote. You've heard this, Ben.
Sure.
Come in for a little bit less, and next time I'll give you your rate, and then I'll even give you a little bit more if we have a good house. Guess what they never do? They never call you after that first time.
Never.
They got you cheaper, and they tell other promoters, got them cheaper.
They just act like they do around here. The promoters who do that still around here usually don't last long either. So it's ridiculous. So
I know we gave them a few different tangents on this show, but
it's locker room, bro. It's fuck the news. This is the real talk, son.
Yeah, I just with my career, I blame myself for about 100% of everything that's no, I do because when I look at it, um, if I just took a deep breath, if I realized my worth, if I didn't, if I didn't act like Sal had said a long time ago, the reason why I have so much trouble understanding people at this point and what they do is because I wouldn't do things like that. And back then, I used to show it and sell it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And what's that? That's chum in the fucking water for the
Yeah.
Sharks.
Now we just do things like that. We cut everybody's throat. We learned.
Thank you.
No mercy out here. And there's no mercy.
Actually, you do it. I don't do it.
That's well.
you.
You just pass the heat on to me, man. Randy Orton responds to Matt Riddle's NXT Tag Team title win. Jokingly tells him to fuck off. Viper retweets Riddle. Riddle has said Bros, Stallions, Broserweights champions with his Pete Dunne win at TakeOver, which I heard had a ton of holes in it. And we can even go off on another tangent here in a minute. But Randy Orton retweets that says, hated you, period. Now I get it. Good luck. Also, fuck off. So, little put over there after, whatever heat with Brock and whatnot. I don't know why these guys who, especially Legend Killer, should be hating on Riddle, who is doing the same kind of Legend Killer gimmick he was trying to with the UFC twist on Goldberg and whatever, even though he's not second generation. He should get it. I think Riddle versus Orton could be pretty awesome. But I just like guys telling each other to fuck off who are stars. I think that's always funny.
Do you think that they deep down, because Ciampa told him to fuck off too, right, on Twitter?
Yeah.
But then he was been teaming up with them and other things, unless Ciampa's just all business and it's fine. I didn't see any kind of like I didn't see it as a phony type thing. It looked okay. Like, do you think they like him, but they're fucking jabbing him on Twitter?
Yeah,
like
a little bit to see, and he's taking it. He's kind of that RVD level head to some degree, stoner, where he's not going to sell too much for it. He's got a little more snap to him, but I think he gets it now, and guys are going to say, hey, we're missing the money. This guy is cool. He's in touch. He's got something different. He don't give a fuck. He's got some Rob Van Dam to him, a little bit more, but like, dude, there's money there if they're going to do it, or if they're going to bury him just to show you're not going to get over and give him some Enzo type of treatment.
It helps too when you can fight and fuck some people up too that you really don't care.
Right.
Outside of Brock, do you really give anybody a chance against him?
Yeah, dude, I don't think Riddle's.
Do you think Ciampa's neck, if he put a fucking shoot hold on fucking Ciampa's neck, do you think
anybody his size, no way, but anybody like a Shelton, I think Shelton Benjamin could probably lay waste to fucking Matt Riddle.
Well, Shelton has a wrestling background. I'm talking about a Randy Orton type thing, as tough as Randy can be in a bar setting.
I would put Randy over on Riddle, dude. I don't, just because the guy makes the UFC, he's fucking
he had
dangerous.
An amateur background too.
That's fine, but he also, I give 70 pounds of weight and 6 inches of reach much more credibility than I do fucking, he was in this league. I think there's a lot of guys in WWE you can go in and spank some dudes.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Here's where I do it, because I'm doing a lot of research on jiu-jitsu schools, and I'm probably going to join one, and I want to learn. I want to get, for some reason, I want to start all over again and get smashed every day in more of a tie-up way, not strikes. I don't want to get hit in the head. There's 120-pound jiu-jitsu, whatever belts they are, that are fucking tying up and tapping like, college wrestlers. If you have jiu-jitsu, it's not a size thing, dude. The smaller you are actually in jiu-jitsu, if his jiu-jitsu game is strong, he could get just about everybody outside of a Brock who has that jiu-jitsu, amateur wrestling, striking, like you can't, and size. But I've seen 120-pound guys just tap guys our size 10 times in a row, just playing with them.
Not in Japan, they won't get me. I don't know, man. I totally get it. It's a dangerous art, and it's all about the lock and the choke and gi, jiu-jitsu, all that kind of shit is a huge art form. But when it comes down to it, I go with Mike Tyson. Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the fucking face.
Exactly. But if he got punched, I got to push back. If he got punched and he got hit and he fell on his back, that guard position or lying down is exactly where a jiu-jitsu guy wants to be. Because you're going to try to go down and pound. You're not going to go and hop over with side control if you're a street fighter or a pro wrestler that has no. I'm just saying, like,
I get it, man. I'm not saying
the whole point of it is he doesn't have to be afraid because at least he's reputable.
Sure. Dar's choke.
It's like Rob Van Dam has fuck everybody. I don't care. And they're just like, that guy can fucking fight. You know what I mean? Like they'll think twice instead of being bullies.
That's why I say fuck Japan. Not really. I want to go there. I just want to beat everybody up, which I will. Eve Torres calls out Donald Trump for objectifying women, recalls her own experience with the president. Happy President's Day. I look forward to having a president who doesn't grope or objectify women. I've taken pictures with thousands of men on military bases at WWE events and signings, and very few have grabbed me and pulled me in as forcefully as he did without knowing me. Of course, I had the time I believed it was my job to be eye candy in a photo for the supposed billionaire and play along. It's actually hard for me to see that photo because it reminds me of my beliefs of my worth at that time. Swipe to see what I mean. Swipe again for a brush up on creepy hug defenses, including the inappropriate photo squeeze. P.S. The pregnancy announcement is so old, so no, I'm not pregnant again. Also, this was scary for me to post, but it's been on my mind. We haven't forgotten about the pussy grabbing, Mr. President. Get the flying fuck out of here, dude. Could you be less like in the spotlight and you need a fucking thing? You want to talk creepy Joe Biden, you want to talk whatever, and it was just like, and it was during that 2007 WrestleMania 23 time, and you're coming out 13 years after this, and for what purpose are you even trying to do this when it's got nothing in the wake of everything that's just went on, man?
She got her little jab in too, which once again takes away a little bit the supposed billionaire.
Cred. Yeah.
Like right there, it's like, okay, I get what you're.
Unbelievable. Like, I think there's going to be more of these where people on that side, they think they got any little celeb, any tiny little whack they can take. Dude, she's just burying herself with that shit to put it on fucking social media. How weak. Like, I'm not putting over Twitter thumbs and that he isn't a fucking creepy motherfucker, but like, okay.
So what do you think the rationale is? Is it just trying to get back in the spotlight? The timing,
or else somebody with the money already there that she knows, and he's like, he gave me a weird hug too. Would you come out and give a statement on that? We can get you $50,000 through this, and this. That's what that feels like to me. Shayna Baszler responds to parent upset about raw curse word. Isn't she in Playboy too, Eve Torres?
I'm not sure. Eva Marie is the redhead from Total Divas. Torres is the
No, I'm thinking the other
dark-haired one, right?
Other dark-haired one. I can't remember. Whatever. I'm not giving it a second thought. That shit. Shayna Baszler responds to parents upset about raw curse words, where she said, "I'm going to tear the shit out of you. I'm going to suck the shit out of your asshole." But her response, quote, "I don't give a crap about your kids." So you missed right there. You say, "I don't give a shit about your kids." If they're bitching about you saying shit, you come back and whack it again. She said, "I don't give a crap about your kids, so I won't modify my behavior for them." Whatever, dude. I'm glad she stayed heel, but you got to fucking come back and smack them again. The fact that you said crap made you look like you bowed down and didn't come back over the top heel-ish day one. And in our final story, interesting, Stevie, as we talked about this, maybe they need to cut this third hour Raw because Raw viewership up again despite huge third hour loss. Ratings are up again this week, which, good. I'm down with that. I like Seth's promo. I liked a couple things, but it shows 2.4 million, 37,000 viewers, up 4.3%. Hour one had 2.6 or 2,671,000 viewers. Hour two, 259, Jesus Christ, 2,599,000 viewers. So they only lost about 72,000 from hour one to hour two. Hour three, they dropped down to 2,082,000 viewers. So losing over 500,000 there. So I don't know, man. They can't get a thread going through a show to really pay things off. We have these shitty 8-man matches, 6-man matches. What does that tell you? No one gives a fuck about these matches at the end of the show, so they're tuning out. There's no must-see TV in the last 10 minutes that Raw and Nitro were based on. Instead, it's throw together these guys, and these guys got business, and we'll do a waterfall, we'll do a shotgun finish, and then maybe we'll try and tell a little something in the end. But dog food, pose down, everybody. Ha ha. It's just super bad, and the third hour ratings prove it.
We had bounce stuff around before about like before NXT was actually a TV show on outside of the network, making NXT the third hour. They probably should have went with that, especially since they're still on USA. It's within the network. It probably would have been a good, even 90 minutes of Raw, 90 minutes of NXT.
Yeah.
Would have been. Right now, man, it's just the horse has already left the barn. You can't, how can you, for stockholders' sake, how can you remove an hour of advertising? And how can you justify by raising advertising on the first 2 hours? This is the way they look at it. Also, isn't there some metric they said that they were really talking about minutes watched, time watched as a gauge for that advertising and licensing money?
But now they're doing picture in picture too. So how do you gauge that when picture in picture is going on?
Ooh, a picture in picture is rough, man.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't like it.
Yep. There's real bad use of it at AEW too, is still even, and cutting away when guys aren't in the hold or whatever. So that's just bad communication of guys not knowing when to do something in a match in wrestling, or the ref to give them, we're going to commercial, grab a hold and come back, because now that they got it, they think they can just go through and hit all their Impact stuff, and then the story of the match gets lost too for TV. So there's a lot of things going on there. But it'll be interesting. I'm just glad to see numbers up. Numbers were up last week for NXT and AEW. AEW was only, I think, 72,000 off a million. They were 928,000. So we'll see if the numbers come out today, if they can reach that. But I think we outlined a pretty incredible piece of business for them to put it together. If you can sift through some of the vitriol and confusion. You like that, Stevie? Vitriol? Yeah. Thank you. There's money to be made there that will take you from 928,000 to possibly 3 million overnight if you played it the right way and played it smart, instead of worrying about, foolish little gimmicks, trying to get girls over as aliens and librarians. That ain't going to do fuck all for you, brother. But you can do something for us, and that's go to prowrestlingtees.com/BenHamin/Stevie Richards. Support the free platform here at HackerHamin.podbean.com. Get yourself something nice. You also got some cool new project working on now. I've stooged off for a Russo brand. We'll be talking more about that in the next week or so. Get you guys self something nice there as well. But if you really want to do something spectacular for yourself, you're going to join Stevie Richards Fitness at StevieRichardsFitness.com and get the 12-week program. If you're starting out, I would suggest it. If you have completed that and you're looking for the next challenge, 16 weeks the way to go. And I always pop when he says Iraq, but he's always talking about Force USA racks. I always think that in Iraq, I could be the number one rack salesman, the Hamin 5, but it's Stevie 5 at Force USA for all of you heavy lifters. But if you're starting out, Stevie bands, or even if you're advanced or on the road, Stevie bands are the way to go. StevieRichardsFitness.com. How'd I do, buddy?
That's all I got. I really try to offer that. That's why I work for Force, and I have a home gym here. I don't try to hide the fact that I do different things in my training. Of course, after my bicep and elbow injury, I needed to go back to the bands. That's the that's the place I was in my fitness journey. Now I'm back to using cables and a little bit of dumbbells. This is what happens in your fitness journey. It happens in your life. You're going to have to use the tools to get you to wherever you need to be in the next phase. So, some people were like, man, how do you push the bands, but you have all that equipment in the home gym?
People were
Well,
sorry. People were asking
just
about the thing that you were doing your Hindu push-ups on your yoga.
Oh, the Sheena, the Persian yoga thing.
Yeah,
Dude,
what
it's
is
tough,
that?
man?
Is it hard?
Persian yoga is like a different kind of flow. I haven't gotten the entire flow down, but the board is just a different way to hold it. And adds such a, you think it's not a big deal. It's like a push-up stand. It makes it easier.
Mm-hmm.
But my triceps are burning. My shoulders open up when I go into the down dog. That's actually a different kind of down dog because you're in almost a split.
Yeah.
When you go up into it and then you flow through it, a Hindu push-up or come into a plank down into a push-up. Then there's different flows where you do the Hindu backwards, stand up, do a side like this, turn your knee out, side like this, come up into this, go down. I don't have the whole flow down, but that post got a lot of traction, a lot of people asking questions about that. So I'm supposed to have the guy on and interview him for the Stevie Richards broadcast, but I want to work with the board. They also have shields that you do functional training, like presses and stuff with. It's legitimately not the SJW shields. It's a real shield that you use for doing that. So go to PersianYoga.com, check it out. I don't have an affiliate thing with them or anything like that, but it's a fascinating piece of equipment that's it's of course the Persian clubs.
Yeah.
It's right along the lines of that, where body weight training with leverage is just tougher than you think.
It was pretty cool to watch, man. I definitely would like to see the next video on that. We also just got followed by Hitting the Mark Sports, a new, I think, at HTM Sports could be. So obviously Jargo and all of our crew over there expanding their brand. Shout out to Gorilla Position for being an affiliate with us. Carlos Astorga, his independent wrestling league, and William Alicia, our own Hamin Media News guy. All those guys working together to keep, all our group going strong, whether it's Stevie Richards Fitness, HackerHamin Media Group, people posting in there, just inspiration and sharing thought, high level without all the Mark bullshit. So I'm glad to have you guys around this week. We've had some great discussions, and we'll continue to do more shows. I'll be back probably in another hour here with Chris Silvio and MSG to talk AEW Light the Fuse, AEW Dynamite, and break down that show and whatever news and reviews. I know Silvio's hot about a couple things. He wants to get some more shit in on Scooby-Doo, who made an appearance last night again, Stevie, at AEW. So as the plot thickens, I would have got away.
Somebody said that Jesus is a member of Fozzy. Is that true?
I don't think so. He's got his own Twitter and shit too. So these are guys just trying to live their cosplay gimmicks. This is what it's going to be. They're all going to be furries fucking in the stands by the end of all this. But that's where we'll be at. We're going to break it all down to Light the Fuse as it goes click, click, boom here at HackerHamin.podbean.com. It's the Friday locker room. It's Big Stevie Cool. It's HackerHamin, all in blue, infidels, dressed in blue. You know what to do. Here at twitch.tv/conspiracyhorseman. YOLO!